Have you ever noticed that no matter how many video cameras a building has, it always feels like there's one more spot that could use coverage? It's a common problem in security. There's rarely enough budget or resources to cover every angle of a property. And let's be real, blind spots happen. That's why it's crucial to get the most out of the cameras you do have, especially at entrances and exits. Think about it. Entrances and exits are the busiest points of any building. People are constantly coming and going, and those areas tend to be the first and last places someone is seen. Whether it's an employee heading to work, a visitor dropping by, or unfortunately someone with bad intentions, these locations are prime spots to capture important footage. But here's the catch. If your cameras can't capture clear, high-resolution images, what's the point? Blurry footage or low-quality images won't help much when you're trying to identify someone or figure out what happened during an incident. You might see a vague outline of a person, but details like facial features, clothing, or even distinguishing marks, the stuff that really matters, could be lost. High-resolution cameras are like your best detectives. They pick up the small but critical details that make it easier to identify people, vehicles, and other important elements. Imagine being able to zoom in on someone's face without it turning into a pixelated mess. That's the kind of clarity you need when you're piecing together events or working with law enforcement. Now let's talk about the field of view. Field of view refers to the area a camera can see and capture, which depends largely on the lens you choose. If your field of view is too wide, you risk losing detail because the camera's pixels are spread across a larger area. On the other hand, if it's too narrow, you might miss the context around the entrance. The key is selecting the right lens that lets you focus all the camera's pixels on the entrance or the areas immediately surrounding it. This ensures you're getting the maximum clarity and detail from your camera where it matters most. So why focus on entrances and exits? Well, they're the choke points of a building, spots where people naturally funnel through. This makes them strategic locations for capturing who comes in and out. Even if you don't have cameras covering every inch of the property, having high-quality footage from these key points can give you a pretty solid idea of who was there and when. Now let's talk about the challenges of having too few cameras. The biggest issue is obvious: limited coverage. Blind spots mean you might miss something important. Say there's a break-in, but the intruder avoids the areas covered by cameras. If you don't have good footage from the entrances and exits, you're left guessing how they got in or out. That's not a situation anyone wants to be in. Another challenge is cost. Let's face it, installing a full-blown camera system isn't cheap. You have to prioritize, and often that means focusing on high-traffic areas like entrances and exits instead of trying to cover every square foot. But when you invest in high-resolution cameras for these critical areas, you're maximizing your security budget. It's like putting your resources where they'll make the biggest impact. At the end of the day, no security system is perfect, but smart choices can make a huge difference. If you can't have cameras everywhere, make the ones you do have count. Focus on entrances and exits, select lenses that provide the right field of view, and make sure those cameras can deliver high-quality images. It's a simple but effective way to boost your security and make sure you're ready for whatever comes your way.